I've been so good all day with my eating and then I just blow it at night. What can I do? Hi, I'm Tamara Reese, your weight mastery coach, and in this video I'm going to give you the information to help you to stop overeating at night time. The first and one of the most powerful triggers is a lack of sleep, because there's very solid research on lack of sleep playing a huge role in your appetite. But first, I need to talk to you about two very important hormones that affect your appetite, and that is leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is the hormone that says I'm full, stop eating, and ghrelin is the hormone that says I'm hungry, let's eat. And I always remember which is which by thinking of a growling, hungry stomach being ghrelin or growling ghrelin. So leptin is the I'm full hormone, and it's made by your body's fat cells. Leptin's main target is the brain, particularly the area called the hypothalamus. Its main job is to tell our brain that you've got plenty of fuel stored, mainly fat. Ghrelin is a hormone which is produced in the gastrointestinal tract. Your body produces more when you're hungry and less after you've eaten. And when the stomach is empty, ghrelin gets secreted, and when the stomach is stretched, secretion stops. And it also acts on the hypothalamus to increase hunger and to increase gastric acid secretion to prepare your body for food. So in these studies, those getting a habitual 5 hours of sleep per night had 15.5% lower leptin levels, while ghrelin increased by 14.9% compared to those getting 8 hours a night. Next study, after 2 days of sleep deprivation, men had a 45% increase for high carbohydrates foods. And those getting 5 hours and 15 minutes of sleep had a slower basal metabolism by 114 calories per day, while losing about 2 pounds more muscle compared to those who had 7 hours and 25 minutes of sleep over 14 days. In other words, lack of sleep induces muscle loss, slows your metabolism, increases your hunger hormones, decreases your fullness signals, and will increase your cravings for sweets. So if you're having trouble with overeating at night time, then my first piece of advice is to make sure that you're getting enough sleep to balance your hunger hormone. Tip number 2 has to do with loops and the closing of loops. Have you ever been listening to a story and the storyteller gets interrupted and doesn't finish the story off? How does that make you feel? For most people, it creates a sensation of anxiety and a sense of incompleteness. Now, this is a very normal reaction. As humans, we like to have a sense of closure with things, that things have finished, and we can then feel as though we can move on and do other things. Now, we can use this natural tendency we have as humans to want to close off loops to our advantage when it comes to eating and stopping eating at night time. A good way for you to close the eating loop for the day is to signal to your brain that eating time has now finished. And the best way for you to do that can be to brush your teeth straight away after dinner. Not only does this tell your mind that you're done eating for the day, but if you do happen to eat something, it's actually not going to taste that great, especially if you've used mouthwash. My third tip is called fill the hole. If you've decided that you're going to stop eating at night time, what you're going to find is that it's going to feel uncomfortable and as though something is missing. And something is missing, that's the nighttime eating. And you'll have this urge to want to fill this hole or fill up this gap. And because you're used to eating in the past, your natural tendency will be to want to go back to what you've always done. But you don't want to do this time. So you need to find a way to fill in that hole, a way that's going to be supportive of you creating the body that you want, a way that's going to make you feel good about yourself when you wake up the next morning. So you'll need to pick something else to do instead. You could try doing something different with your hands, like painting your nails, doing colouring in, taking up crafts or knitting. You could use a fidget spinner. If you normally sit in front of the TV and eat every night, you could try completely switching up your routine by doing something different. Phoning a friend, going to the gym, doing some yoga, writing in your journal, doing some meditation. Because there is going to be this sense of something missing, and I want you to be prepared for it. However, be assured that the more you implement a different routine at night, the easier it will be over time, until eventually it will feel odd to eat at night time. And if you've been enjoying what I've been sharing with you so far, then make sure you click that like button so that I know to create more videos like this. Thanks so much. So when one of my clients tells me that they are overeating at nighttime, the first thing that I want to do is to actually go back in time and see what they've been doing for the whole day, leading up to that overeating nighttime episode that has occurred. And I'll ask them, what did you eat for breakfast? And oftentimes it's nothing or a cup of coffee. And so then I ask, well, what did you eat for lunch? Oh, a salad. What did you eat for dinner? Some chicken breast and some veggies. And then I go, okay, well, no wonder you're overeating at nighttime. You've basically been starving yourself throughout the day. You've not given your body enough nutrients. And now it's craving these nutrients and you're grabbing the easiest, quickest source of energy, which is often chips, chocolate, ice cream, biscuits, to fulfill the energy requirements that your body is physically craving. So my final tip is to make sure that you're eating enough food during the day so that your stomach feels full and that your body is getting all the nutrients that it needs. Now, I know that you're probably thinking, but wait, I want to lose weight, so I've got to eat less food. The answer to that is you don't actually need to eat less quantity of food. You can still eat a lot of food if that's what you want to do. But just make sure that the food you eat is filling for you in terms of quantity, so that there's lots of it, so it can fill up your stomach, and that it's also filling in quality, in that it contains lots of nutrients. So the question for the day, what are you going to do to stop eating at night? I'd love to know in the comments below. Hungry stomach being ghrelin, like growling ghrelin, growling, growling ghrelin. Growling ghrelin. That is a tongue twister. Growling ghrelin.